I feel proud of myself. Actually, that resting there helped my ankle because it was just starting to go funny.
Dude, the power of resting on walks,
Yeah.
on hikes, is insane. 2 minutes.
Yeah. So, okay, here we go.
Walking down the trail.
Yeah. So, Mount Hamilton here, you use this as a training area, one of them.
Yeah.
And you talked about earlier about across the way here as a training area. And that was across the way. What was that?
Angel's Rest and Devil's Rest.
Okay.
That got snowy.
Yeah.
That was nice.
And we're in the Columbian Gorge outside of Portland and Vancouver, Washington.
Yep.
You know, what were the surprises up there on the mountain when you were climbing Denali?
I think how much experience you can fit into a couple miles. That I looked at the profile of each of the movements and said, oh, it's 2 miles with 3,000 feet of climbing. That's not bad. That's really chill. I could totally do that. And then every time how difficult each of those movements was with the sled and the heavier pack and just how long it took and how the elevation impacted it. So I think that just seeing it on a map and seeing numbers and how that translated to reality was not what I expected and became much more difficult than I thought.
So,
Dad on the south side of Mount Adams. We are chugging along. We've been moving 8 hours and 45 minutes with some pretty intense packs. It is now 19 in the evening. We went 1,100 vertical meters and 12.62 kilometers. So it was a pretty big day. It was mostly on the road.
Through snow.
Okay, so 3 hours road, then skiing to get to it was about close to 10K to get to the trailhead. And then...
So what always makes me very curious in this kind of stuff is how much food did you have to take and what was the preparation? What were you looking for in calories and stuff?
Yeah, so I had a little spreadsheet. I read a couple articles about it, and they talked about weight to calorie ratio. So I got the weight to calorie ratio of all my foods, shooting for above 4 calories per gram of weight. So a ratio of 4. And so a lot of the food I was eating was junk food or Mountain House meals. And so I was looking for calories and protein and carbohydrates per day. Those are my three biggest things. I brought 4,400 calories per day of food, which turned into 3.5 pound bags per day. So it was right around 70 pounds of food that I was carrying up in my sled. And that worked pretty well.
Did you stash some of it as you were going up so you had it on the way back, or did you just...
No. I stashed 2 days at the airstrip, which is nice. I ended up giving away most of that because there were some people that didn't have food and had been weathered in for 6 days or 5 days or something like that. So
that gets me.
This is one completed bag of food. It weighs about 3.5 pounds, which is way more than I was hoping for. And so you do some math. I'm taking 20 days of food on the mountain with me, right around 70-ish pounds, a little bit more. It's going to be It's gonna be heavy. But I laid out 6 days, so about a third of the food, a third of the actual food that I'll need. So like I need 18 days. We're supposed to spend 18 days on the mountain, packing 2 extra days so I can have food for Hood. So this is 1/3 of my mountain food. Check that out. So that's exploded bags. That's a lot. So I can show you everything that's in a day. Everything that's in a day is I wake up, I have breakfast. These are protein. They're Kodiak oatmeal. So I take 2 of these. They have 12 grams of protein in them. Great stuff. Then lunch starts as soon as I finish breakfast. So as soon as I finish this, then I jump into the lunch, which I have 5 servings of a fruit. I pack 3 different fruits. This is chili lime mango. I also have normal mango and some dried pineapple. On other days, to mix things up, I have these peanut M&Ms, which are super amazing for calorie to weight ratio. Then I have crackers. I have 2 different kinds of crackers. I have these Cheez-Its in this bag. I have 2 goo packs and a protein bar. So this is kind of what I start eating as soon as I stop. I also am taking these things. It's just straight peanut butter. So I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit in my mouth. I'm taking 2 servings of this a day, so that's an extra 400 calories. I'm taking 3 of these packs for the entire time on the mountain. And then for my dinner, I have 1 ready-made meal, which are about like 600 calories, as you can see. And then 2 packets of top ramen, which is another 740 calories. So this is kind of my whole day. It's about 1,400 calories. 4,400 calories, not 14. It's about 4,400 calories. So yeah.
That gets me to the weather.
Yeah.
So what's the weather like up there, and what are you dealing with? I mean, you're in camp waiting a lot?
There was a decent amount, especially once we got up to 17. On the lower mountain, unless it's really bad, you can still push. The trails are pretty straightforward. So on the lower mountain, we would push in more acclimate weather. On the upper mountain, the weather has to be pretty ideal. That the room for error is much smaller. That there's no resources or help, and it can get so much worse so quickly. So when we were on the upper mountain going for the summit attempt, we really had to have much tighter weather margins. And then the lower down we got, when we were heading back down, we kept going and it was storming a bit. And why we eventually stopped was that the visibility got so bad that we couldn't see the wands in front of us anymore. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, Dad. So we went to walk down to 14. You might have noticed because I sent you a text saying that we were starting here today. And then we hit the gale force winds. And it was like whipping us in the face, and all of us had this really strange experience where there was this pins and needles feeling on our backpack, like on our back where our backpack was, and it felt like being stabbed. Yeah, and we're all wearing Gore-Tex. And okay, Nick got on his face, the rest of us got it on our backs, and it stung so bad. I was like, it must be the crystals whipping into my back from like the little spacing layer that it has for sweat. Anyway, I have no idea what it was, but it hurt like hell. Our packs are really big and heavy. I mean, my pack has to be at bare minimum 70 pounds. It is bulky as heck.
And yeah, so it was not safe conditions.
Yeah. Okay, so I understand at one point you guys were pushing hard, and I don't know if you were going up or going down. I suspect down.
Yeah.
And I loved it when I heard you got a standing ovation. That was great.
That was honestly the best part of the mountain. I was, yeah, we tried to head down. Half of our group headed down early because Steve had frostbite. The other half waited a little bit later. We ended up packing up, and we didn't get moving till 19. And we tried to go down the West Buttress from 17 to 14, and the weather was just horrible. So we ended up making an emergency bivvy, set up a 3-man tent, shoved 4 guys in there, made some food, drank some water, mentally prepared ourselves, because honestly, it was more mental preparation at that point. The weather wasn't getting much better. It was 30, 40 mile an hour sustained winds with gusts up to 50, 60 miles an hour. I mean, I was getting blown around by it. And yeah, so we slept for 6 hours. We woke up and then started just threw a bunch of layers on and started moving. And it was honestly harder. That ridge was more precarious than the summit, in my opinion. The weather was just so bad. It was colder, and it was no one else on the upper mountain was moving. So we were the only people making any kind of movement that day. And when we get in, you can see the head wall, and up to the head wall, the approach to the head wall for a decent amount in 14. So we're walking down, and 2 people see us and are watching us, and then a few more. And by the time we get to camp, there's about 30 people there just sitting and staring at us. And I said, "Are you coming down from 17?" And Austin up front says, "Yeah, we are. We came down the buttress today." And then everyone started clapping for us, and it was kind of a highlight moment to have a whole camp clapping for you for something you did. And honestly, sheer insanity. It was more like it was really dumb, and they were impressed that we made it.
Guys, all right, Dad. I'm trying again. So yeah, we're gonna do a little emergency bivvy right outside 17. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna suck, and then we're gonna try and start moving as early as we can tomorrow, because we gotta get down to the airstrip now. We were supposed to be down to 14 or 11 today, and then airstrip tomorrow, but I think we're just gonna be powering through all the way to airstrip tomorrow. So yeah, we're gonna finish cooking our dinner. All right, Dad, this is gonna be a sleeping arrangement. Hey, Nick, Anthony, this blue bag is me, and Austin on the side. Working the stove in the corner. Working the stove in the corner because it was too cold outside to use the stove. It's this is a full-on Denali experience. It's getting strange, it's getting real. 4 men and a 3-man tent. 2 of them over 6 foot. It's gonna be a night. Probably not much sleeping, but we'll see how it goes. There's a mystery Kit Kat in there. Hey, Dad. This is as geared up as we can be. We're about to put on our crampons, pack up the tent, and make probably the most dangerous movement of our entire trip.
That's actually a fair assessment.
Who thought that?
My life.
Yeah, I honestly, probably my life.
Me life. Lifey.
So I'm hoping that there's other videos after this. There should be. But yeah, this is my video for posterity. I hope everyone enjoys it. And yeah, we got everything we can get. I'm getting some food in us now, getting some water. Yeah, who thought that summit day was the prep day for the descent? Guess so. So yeah.
Tough option.
Another thing, you're in super cold weather, and you got to have liquids
Yeah.
like water or something. How did you deal with that?
I had one thermos. Austin was better prepared, and everything he had was a thermos. Pros and cons, it's a lot heavier than what I was carrying up. But on summit day, it means he had fluids all day, and I didn't have any fluids because all my fluids froze. For the most part, if you keep them in your bag, we would put hot or boiling water into our bottles. And then if I put them in my bag inside of my puffy layers, they would stay warm for quite a while. And then I would just drink one at the top, finish that, and then switch them out. The only time that they really froze was on the summit day, and then some of the days coming down when we were getting hit by more intense storms.
Hey Dad, I was gonna do an update on yeah, just general life around camp. My beard's starting to look crazy. Major things that are done while camping in the snow. 1, you take snow. 2, you put it into a pot, and then you warm it. Because you gotta have water. So yeah, especially because most of my food is dehydrated, whether it's oatmeal or dehydrated meals or stuff that just doesn't need hydration, like M&Ms and dried fruit and stuff. You just need water for everything. Water is kind of the crux of the matter. So a couple hours every day, that. I just actually slept for 12 hours, so this is the 12-hour location. Hanging out in my super puffy sleeping bag. That's Anthony again. Sitting there, lying around. Later today I'll show you the sweet snow wall we built last night. They were calling for 50-mile-an-hour winds, so just as everyone was getting ready for bed, getting ready to pass out for a bit, we all got up, spent 2.5 hours building some sweet snow walls. I actually really like building snow walls. I just didn't like the timing of the snow wall building, but it was generally fun. It was windy and not too cold, thankfully. The first night we got in was the coldest. That definitely gave me a little bit of a scare. It was so freaking cold, but no, it's not doing too bad. Summed it up. Most of what you're gonna do, take water, take snow, make it into water, drink water, repeat process. On a fun note, I have a 96 ounce pee bottle. It's huge. Let me show you this thing. See that? It's enormous. 96 ounces. I filled it last night. I'm pretty proud of myself for that. 2 peas and I filled a 96 ounce piss bottle. I felt pretty accomplished. So that was a hell of a thing. I went from not peeing at all in the middle of the night at lower elevations to just constantly needing to pee now that it's cold and everything. So yeah, that's my achievement for the day. Can't really top peeing 96 ounces.
All in all, yeah, how many in the group, and the overall impressions of the climb itself?
So in the group, there was the 2 team leaders, Austin and Justin, and then there was me, Nick, Steve, Anthony, and Whitman. So there were 7 of us all together, and I think overall impressions that I'm really thankful I did it.
Now,
it was.
You want to do more?
Yeah, I would still really want to get down to the Vincent Massif. I'm thinking of training again so that I can apply for some guide services on Rainier. I would love to I'd love to be on Rainier more. I was saying that the views from Denali were bigger and more grand, but when I'm at Camp Muir in Rainier, I know all the mountains. I'm looking at where I grew up. I'm looking at.
You made the top. What was like? Did at some point you say, "Oh, geez, we're not going to make this"?
Oh yeah, I had to reevaluate what success meant to me at one point, because when we moved up to 17 camp, we had no weather window. We didn't really think we were going to summit because we were moving up there. We knew we had 3 days, and the forecast was showing that those 3 days were not workable. So I sat and I thought about it in my tent a lot, and I said, I like the person I am now better than the person I was before I started training mountains for this mountain. So I said, how can I be a failure if I like me better than I did before? So I had this thought that if I take out an event and just look at the person I was before and the person I was after, do I think that I have improved? Do I like myself better? Does my life function better? And if so, then it was a success. So I had to reevaluate in this moment, this kind of dark night of soul, that I had to reevaluate and say, no, my life is better. I'm a better person, so this is a success. And then Austin comes out the next day and says, oh, and we're going to go to the summit. I was like, screw all that. I'm a better person and I'm getting to this summit.